Hi, Joe Outram here, and today I want to talk to you about saving and starting to save and saving when you're on a tight budget. And I'm going to be sharing with you my 5 top tips for doing so that you can get started as soon as possible with saving. Now, how good you are naturally at saving depends on your money personality. Some of us are more prone to be able to save easily than others, but no matter what your personality is with regards to money, you can actually start a savings habit. You just need to, well, get started, and starting with a regular savings and setting those up as automatic transfers will start to get you into the habit, because you only need to deal with it once, and then it's on an autopilot. It's coming out of your bank account each and every week or month, or however often you've set up the transfers for. So you can sooner start a savings habit because it's not something that you need to constantly do. Although there are other ways, as well as automatic savings, there are other ways in which you can start to save, and that's about developing the actual habit yourself. But like I said, the easiest way is to have a regular savings habit that's set up on automatic, because then it's just something you can do once. And even if you think you can't afford to save, then you just start small. Add up all the small savings that you can make in a year and longer. They add up to larger sums over time. And starting small is better than not starting at all. So even if the amount that you can start saving doesn't actually warrant you transferring the money each month, because it is such a low amount, you can actually start saving in something like a savings jar or something like that. But you can start that process. Anyway, here's my 5 top tips. The first thing we should do, or you should do, is work out how much you can actually save. Now, a budget will help you with this. That will help you work out how much you can save on a regular basis. And like I said, start out small. If that's, if you can only afford, say, £10 a month or £5 a month, then start. It's better to start saving on automatic, with automatic transfers with a small amount, than just forgetting about it, because you know what, you'll just spend that money, and then time will go by and you'll have no savings. But just seeing savings going into an account and starting to build up will help to change your mindset and help encourage you to start saving in the non-automatic ways of saving. So it is a good idea to get those automatic transfers set up as soon as possible. Number 2 is to cut out unnecessary expenditure. And you can do this by, when you're doing your budget or when you're just doing a review of your expenses. And how you do that? Well, just grab the last 3 months worth of bank statements and just look through and look at the amounts that you regularly spend money on. Are you spending money on things that you can now cancel? Are there any subscriptions you no longer need? That kind of thing. Look for ways in which you can save money. Maybe you can go on a comparison website and save yourself some money on your heating bills. Well, that money that you're saving, you could be saving it. Now, if it's a substantial saving and you have debt, maybe you want to split that saving between putting some money into saving and paying some extra off your debt. But you can be working all that out as part of your budget. So the budget, which was number 1, and this one, which is cutting out unnecessary expenditure, kind of fit together, but are 2 separate exercises. And you know what? We can always find ways to save money. It always surprises me how much I can cut out when I review my expenses, because as we go through time, things that were relevant to us 3 and 6 months ago sometimes are no longer relevant. So we can always find something that we can tweak in our expenditure when we need to. The 3rd tip is to start a savings jar. Now, I've already mentioned that. That's a great way to start saving your spare change. It does require a little bit of discipline, which is why it's a great thing to do if you're not used to saving, because it's helping you build that money habit, help you build that financial muscle of starting to save. And it's also something, if you have kids, you can get the kids involved as well and get them saving part of their money. If they have pocket money, encourage them to be saving. Encourage them, if they find money in the street, which occasionally you do, somebody's dropped a coin, pick it up, put it in a savings jar, see how much can be saved. And kids love that kind of games. And, once the savings jar is full, and maybe you've got a separate jar for the kids, you let them keep that money. But if you've got a family savings jar, sometimes people find that they want to not actually save it all, but save half into longer term savings, put it into the bank account when the jar's full, and the other half can be a treat to yourself. It's still about building up that savings muscle. So savings jar is a great option, and it doesn't have to be a fancy jar. There are some available that you can get, and there are those containers that you can get that you have to smash to be able to get the money out. They're a great idea, but of course they cost money in the first place. But you can use absolutely anything. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. This is about getting into the routine of actually saving. And when you're doing that, you're also telling your mind that it's okay to have excess funds, because you're seeing those excess funds on a regular basis. So it's good from a mindset point of view as well when you're starting to save. The fourth item is anytime you get a little bit of a windfall, maybe you get a bonus from work, maybe you're selling unwanted items in a garage sale or on eBay or any of those kind of sites, then instead of just putting that money into your pocket or into your bank account and it just gets mixed in with all your other money, actually put it into savings. If it's in cash, put it in your savings jar, and if it's via bank transfer the money from your PayPal account or wherever you've got the money from. Don't put it into your normal bank account, put it straight into your savings account. That way you're going to be less likely to spend the money, because you've actually then got to withdraw it from your savings account to then spend it. So it's a great way of starting to save when money is tight. And then the fifth way is to operate a simple savings strategy. Now, this savings strategy works whether you're just saving £10 a month or you're saving 100 or 1,000 or £10,000 a month. And it's for when you're saving regular amounts. And we're just going to change the amount every 3 months, every 90 days. So start out with your savings amount. You save it each month. Then you increase it for by 10% for the next 3 months. And then after that 3 months, you increase it again by 10%. So if you're saving, as an example, £10 a month, you'll save that each and every month for months 1, 2, and 3. And then in the next 3 months, you increase that by 10%. So that becomes £11. You save that for 3 months each month. And then you increase it by 10% again, and it becomes £12.10 if I've remembered that correctly, if my maths is correct. So you're starting to increase, so even those small amounts, and just that 10% increase every 90 days can help you build that savings that you've got, help build the habit as well of seeing more money going out, which is all a good thing, particularly as well if you're on a tight budget. This helps, but even if you're not, this is a great way of just increasing your savings, because as you're taking more money out of your regular income, so if your income stays the same, you're starting to learn to manage with slightly less money each month by putting more and more into savings, and it builds up into a nice savings pot. So that's my 5 tips for you to start saving if you're new to saving or you are saving on a tight budget. So number 1 is working out how much you can afford to save by looking at your budget, and that's for the regular savings amount. Number 2 is doing a review of your expenses, seeing what expenses you can cut, and then saving that amount as well. If you have debt, best probably to split the amount between savings and repaying your debt. The third way is to have a savings jar. The fourth way is to put any windfalls or any sales of unwanted items, so the irregular amounts of income that you have coming in over and above your earnings, put those amounts into savings. And then the fifth one is to operate that simple saving strategy of increasing your regular savings amounts by 10% each and every month. So I hope that helped. If you are new to starting to save, just pick on one of those items if this is new to you and you really just don't like saving, and then build up so you are using all 5 of those top tips, and you'll soon start to see your savings build. So until next time, that's bye from me.